The Quest Pro, after months and months of speculation and leaks, has finally been officially revealed. But not in a way that makes any fucking logical sense to anyone in the history of ever. Imagine if Apple, at their yearly September keynote, showed off the brand new iPhone, talked about how good the camera is and the battery is, showed off a top secret box that is assumedly containing said iPhone, and then said, before we go any further, here's Joe Nuts to talk about the Apple brand, and then just ended the keynote without giving us a price or a release date for this new iPhone. Besides, it's coming at some point next year. It's almost as if this is exactly what Facebook just did regarding the Quest Pro. Literally the biggest blue balling of all time. Now, there are some serious problems regarding this event that we have to talk about here, because Jesus Christ, man, this was probably the worst Facebook Connect event, yet alone any event from any major tech company in the last couple of years. So much so that content creators across all platforms that cover Quest-related content have been shot into a pit of depression. Not to mention those of you that held off from buying a Quest 2 to wait for this new headset, as what I'm about to go through regarding its release date probably makes your decision way more annoying. And real quick, I just want to quickly mention that this will not be a Facebook sort of video. I know there's plenty of people that work in Facebook's reality labs that genuinely just work hard making dope new advancements in VR that watch these videos. This video is just highlighting why this Facebook's Connect was so unfair to average consumers, especially people deciding on whether or not to buy a Quest 2 or wait for the Quest Pro, and not just 10 minutes of me railing on Facebook. Just want to make that clear before I go any further. By the way, I would be surprised if this video is hampered by the algorithm a little bit with what I'm about to talk about, so a like and sub would be much appreciated, so my career doesn't sink further than my heart watching Facebook Connect. So, let's get into it. The keynote with your boy Zuck on D's Nuts Sunscream Supremo started with a lengthy talk about what the metaverse will be, or at least what Facebook hopes it will be eventually. AKA, this ended up being essentially an hour of talking about nothing. Almost everything shown regarding the metaverse was preferenced with imagine if. What if?
Imagine, now imagine.
Imagine.
Followed by a completely CGI creation of what Facebook plans to do in the future, with literally no actual footage or gameplay of any of this actually working or running on a VR headset. Imagine if we could do this. What if you could go here? This would be cool, right? Imagine if. Imagine having privacy. Imagine if I actually showed you anything of substance. That said, we did get a Beat Saber song update reveal, which was pretty cool. Yeah, that was it. I don't even know what the f I just watched. That was the entire reveal.
I love Beat Saber.
So do I.
We did get an announcement for GTA San Andreas, which is coming to the Quest platform with a full VR port. And although they again had nothing to actually show or even a release date, this was still pretty dope to hear, especially after the success that Resident Evil 4 in VR had. Porting old classic games over to the Quest and rebuilding them to work in VR is a great and relatively fast way of bringing a bunch of already awesome experiences to a new platform and medium, and just give us a bunch of games in VR. The keynote then went back to what if. Imagine if babbling, fake corny acting, some makeup tutorial or something. I blacked out at this point. I don't remember what was happening. But then finally, some chick called Angela came in clutch by dropping off a mysterious package which they showed to camera to Zuck during the presentation, launching them into a conversation about the new Quest headset.
That must be Angela, our head of VR devices. Is that what I think it is?
I sure hope it is.
All right, come on in.
We are releasing a new product that will push the boundaries of VR even further. We've codenamed it Project Cambria.
This isn't the next Quest. It's going to be compatible with Quest, but Cambria will be a completely new, advanced, and high-end product, and it'll be at the higher end of the price spectrum, too.
Codenamed Project Cambria, they briefly show some b-roll of the headset and make it very clear that this won't be a complete replacement of the Quest 2, but instead a more pro version, likely with a more pro price tag. The headset will essentially be a high-end version of the tech that they want to eventually get into the Quest consumer platform. So very much a Quest Pro. Imagine the Quest 2 is a PlayStation 4, and then this is a PlayStation 4 Pro, rather than a full PlayStation 5. A bit more expensive, has a few new features, which will eventually then get pushed into the next full console. Same sort of deal here. It has full face tracking, including eye tracking, and we get a quick glimpse of this in action. Looks great, by the way, provided this isn't just more random CG stuff. Full color, mixed reality, something that was leaked a while back. They're using some sort of Sony IMX cameras that Bastion leaked on Twitter. Also, it's worth mentioning that it's interesting that we've had so much of this leaked already, and so much of this headset, including full animated tutorial videos, get completely leaked online that were already in the firmware and not get any more of a reveal during this event. It's just really weird that clearly they've made significant progress on this headset to a point where they're making tutorial videos on it, and then to have no real defined release date at this event or much more screen time. They did show off a few examples of the mixed reality, from working out in your living room with a virtual instructor to multitasking in pass-through. I think this is a mix of both CG and also stuff that they already have well in development. They also went through their new lens system called pancake lenses, and Mark also straight up said the headset will release next year.
But let's make sure that we leave some of the good stuff for next year's release too.
And this is a huge problem for anyone deciding whether or not they want to wait for this new headset or just buying a Quest 2 now, because a next year release could be a mere couple of months away, or it could be a full 12 months away. That's a big difference in time. Saying that this will release next year is incredibly frustrating. It doesn't give really any valuable information besides just confusion to a mainstream audience. This has got to be incredibly frustrating for a huge amount of many of you guys watching, still trying to decide on what headset you want to buy. A VR headset for some people is a big investment, and many are willing to wait a few more months to get one. But if I had to guess, I'd assume this means Facebook Connect next year, so a full year from now. Again, it could come sooner. That's just me guessing. I mean, I can't think of another Facebook event that they have besides Facebook Connect that they would randomly reveal this at. I mean, I'm surprised Facebook is even going to try another full year with limited pass-through cameras on the Quest 2 as they try to push for more AR activity, especially regarding the Metaverse. So not only does this concern me to their progress on the Metaverse and AR and mixed reality in general, that they're not releasing this for a full year possibly, but also the fact that they don't even have a firm answer to when we can expect this, besides sometime next year. Oh, and that box that they clearly showed to camera and made a point to draw focus to was never mentioned again and was completely ignored. I don't know what the happened here. My guess is that they were probably going to do more of a reveal for the headset, but cut it last minute. So we're left with this weird ass box section that is awkwardly never talked about again, and they just kind of continue with the keynote and then end it without addressing this big ass CIA looking ass box. For those of you deciding on whether or not to get a Quest 2 now, I'd suggest just pulling the trigger now. I don't mean shoot yourself. I mean the saying you pull a trigger on buying something. I think you should probably just go ahead and buy a Quest 2 now. I don't think we're gonna see this anytime soon. Saying next year is very frustrating as a release date. Again, it's your decision on whether or not you want to wait or not, but the Quest 2, even once this headset is released, is still gonna be a great little headset. I mean, you have GTA San Andreas coming to it, you have Resident Evil 4 running really well on it, so the future is bright for the Quest 2 right now, even if the new Quest Pro headset is just randomly released at the beginning of January. Not to mention the fact that the Quest 2 is definitely going to be cheaper, as we did get a confirmation that the Quest Pro will be a more expensive version of the Quest platform, and the Quest 2 will continue to be the focus of Facebook's consumer-based content for at least the next year.
This isn't the next Quest. It's going to be compatible with Quest, but Cambria will be a completely new, advanced, and high-end product, and it'll be at the higher end of the price spectrum too.
Oh, and talking about Facebook, they committed to the name change. Facebook is now called Meta. I don't know what they were smoking when they thought calling their company a very commonly used term to describe things, but it lines up with their future as a company, I guess. So this seems to have thrown the general public who were previously unaware of the Metaverse Facebook was building to just lose their minds and quickly make comparisons to IOI, the bad guys from Ready Player One. I mean, I can't blame them. Kind of right. And to be very clear, if you haven't noticed by now, this event wasn't made for us. This is essentially a investor's pitch. Mark made it a point to highlight that they're hoping that this will be basically the new internet and will essentially be the future of human connection. And it worked beautifully. Even though Facebook showed virtually nothing of actual substance, their stock jumped pretty significantly. I mean, now knowing what the internet would eventually become, wouldn't you invest in the internet if you could go back in time? The objective of this event was to get people excited for the the metaverse and investing for the next few years to come. But that means, all in all, us as consumers were left with basically nothing besides some new Quest 2 hand grips and a new facial interface for working out. This was over an hour of fluff and confusion that left almost all of us pretty pissed off. That said, although we're stuck with this headset for a little bit longer, at least we're stuck with it together. Maybe a like, maybe a sub, be much appreciated. Hopefully this was helpful. I'm gonna go cry into my Quest 2 now. Thanks for watching to this point. You keep the watch time nice and high, and you keep these videos recommended, so thank you for keeping my career alive. I really appreciate it. Peace. Bye-bye. Thank you everyone that showed up to the Twitch, by the way. We hit like over 300 viewers at one point, which is the highest I've ever had on a Twitch stream. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already checked out my Twitch, it's in the description down below. I stream relatively regularly, so if you want to ask me any questions, that's the place to do it. And thanks to 1,000 followers on Twitter. I post some stuff to there, so thank you everyone that's followed over there. I have an Instagram too, and of course my Discord, which is now at 4.5k members. So if you want to ask me questions when I'm not streaming and not in a YouTube video, my Discord's the place to do it. Links to all of those in the description down below. All right, I gotta go worky on this video because I got a lot of stuff to do. I gotta do the thumbnail. What? I don't even know what to do with the thumbnail. I gotta go.